Hi friends, this is Mrs. Lee. Today I'm going to show you how to glaze your family plaque. But first I want to take you on a little behind the scenes tour of the kiln room and the drying shed. Hi friends, I'm here today and I'm going to go into the kiln to see how your artwork came out. It should be all ready to go. Here we go. I'm going to open the kiln room door. I'm going to walk inside and here is the kiln. You can see that the kiln has cooled down to 98 degrees, so it is cool enough for me to touch it now. I'm going to open up the lid and look inside, and here are a couple of plaques. I will start to unload the plaques now. Here's another shelf full of plaques. I will unload these ones as well, and I will put them all in the drying shed. Okay friends, this is our drying shed. So this is where your projects sat for a few weeks to dry, and now they are just waiting here for us to glaze them. Here we are back in the studio today. I want to show you how to glaze your plaque. So your plaques got cooked at a very hot temperature, and now they came out nice and hard, just like this, but they don't have any color. We need to add color. So we're going to use all these different colors of glaze, plus more. And once the glaze gets cooked in the kiln, they will change color. Here is my sample board. These are samples of what all the colors will look like. So for example, the red, here's the red. If you look at the glaze, it actually looks kind of pink, but once it gets cooked in the kiln, it will turn red. Here's my sample. So this is red. I have two blue options for your background. You could choose fairy blue, which is a light blue, or Dutch blue, which is a darker blue. Last year, my daughter chose the darker blue. She chose the Dutch blue. Today, I'm going to choose the fairy blue for my glaze. Now, if you look at the fairy blue, it actually looks like a really pale, kind of grayish blue. But remember, after it goes in the kiln, it will turn that color of blue. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to paint my background a light blue, which is the fairy blue. I'm going to make sure that I use the same brush the whole time, and I'm going to leave it in the same color so that I'm not mixing up my colors. I'm going to dip it in the blue, and I'm going to wipe it gently on the side so that it's not too drippy. I'm going to paint two coats on my background, and I'll go right over my name because once it goes in the kiln, that paint will melt into those lines and my name will still show up. I want to be careful to paint around things so that I don't get my blue on top of my people. If you accidentally paint over something that you didn't want to paint, you can take a wet sponge and you can wipe off the color. Make sure you do a really good job and you paint over all of the plaque, covering all of the white areas. If you miss any areas at all, it'll appear like this hair here. Do you see how the hair is still kind of white in some spots? That's because she missed a few areas. So you really want to take your time and cover everything. I think for my skin color, I'm going to use marigold. I would recommend for skin colors that you use either marigold or pink. Pink actually looks nice as a skin color, or honey, or Colorado. These are really the four colors, the only four colors that I would choose for skin color. All right, so I'll show you what my daughter used for hers. She used this one here, which is... This is honey. Okay, so honey is a pretty nice one. It'll probably work for most everybody. It's a little bit on the darker side, So if you want to go for something a little lighter, once again, I would recommend you could go as light as pink, or you could use something just a little lighter, which has a little bit of a yellow in it, which is the marigold. Today on mine, I'm going to use marigold. I know my son loves yellow, so I'm going to paint his shirt yellow. Okay, I got a little drip on there. What I'm going to do is use a trusty sponge or paper towel is what I have right now. I'm going to just kind of wipe it. Okay, if it gets too much of the blue wiped off, then I'll have to add more blue. Has very blonde hair. So I'm going to choose the yellow for her hair. And I'm going to make sure to put plenty on there, because remember how we saw in the other one that the hair had some white spots. We want to really cover all the clay so that her hair appears all yellow and without any white spots. Remember to even paint the top of the hair. Now, some people like to add little dots for eyes. You don't need to do that, but if you wanted to, you could take, something really pointy like a pencil, and you could do a dot. So if your face doesn't have any holes in it like mine does, or if you want to draw a face on, again, I think the best way to do it is to take something like a pencil, dip it in the black, and you can draw very carefully with that. All right, friends, let's review some things that we need to know about glaze. Number one, I want you to use blue for the background. You have two choices of blue. You could do fairy blue, which is the light blue, or you could use Dutch blue. You'll want to look at your table to find the right glaze colors. They're going to be on construction paper, and that's how you'll know what color you have. You're going to paint at least 2 coats, especially if it's a thin glaze. If it's a thick glaze, you might be able to get away with just 1 coat. But I want you to try to do 2 coats of all the colors on all the parts. Make sure you get on top of the hair. Try to get the sides without getting your background dirty. All right, so 2 coats of glaze. If you get any glaze on the back, remember you need to use a little sponge, and you're going to wet it and wipe it, a clean sponge, and wipe it off. Once you're all done, these are going to go in boxes to dry. They'll dry over the weekend, and next week I will put them in the kiln, and they will come out looking shiny and brightly colored, just like this one. All right, friends, so go out and have fun glazing your projects.